Now children, let's discuss the first element of weather, that is temperature. Temperature is a measurement of atmosphere with respect to heat and cold. Temperature can be hot, temperature can be cold. And this is an important element for defining weather conditions. Why? Because it influences other basic weather elements such as precipitation, all forms of water, humidity, the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere, clouds, and atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure is pressure exerted on the earth by the air, right? Some places have nearly same temperature throughout, while in some other places the temperature may vary. Vary means change on a day-to-day basis. That means temperature at some places the temperature may remain same, but there are places where the temperature varies from one day it would be cloudy, the other day it would rain. So that is day-to-day basis the varying of temperature. This depends on where the sun rays hit the surface of earth. It all depends on the rays of the sun, which part of the earth gets the light from the sun. Children, you please underline all these lines. This paragraph should be underlined up till here. This is the explanation of what I have just explained you now, right? So imaginary line, equator is the imaginary line, it receives the constant rays of the sun, right? And area which is far away shows the seasons. It's really cold and winters are really cold and summers are really hot. Next is atmospheric pressure. What is atmospheric pressure? It's a force per unit area exerted against the surface by the weight of air above that surface in the Earth's atmosphere. So in simple words, it refers to heaviness or weight of air in the atmosphere. So temperature affects atmospheric pressure. I'll tell you how. The areas which have high temperature will have low pressure. Please note it down. Areas that have high temperature, that means the areas which are very hot, will have low pressure. While areas having low temperature, the areas which are cold, will have high pressure. Just keep in mind, the high temperature the areas, that means hot places, will have low pressure and cold places will have high pressure. Just note it down. When a difference in air pressure occurs, it results in the formation of winds. When there is a difference between the hot temperature and the cold temperature, air pressure, then there is formation of flow from high pressure area to low pressure area. And if the movement of air into low pressure area leads to, when the movement of air from high to low pressure area, what is formed? Depression is formed with clouds and rain. What is depression? It's an area of low pressure which is associated with unsettled weather. What is unsettled weather? The weather which is not stable, right? Which is not stable. Now, therefore, you will notice that high pressure areas are mostly dry. The areas which are high, I told you, high pressure areas are those which are colder regions. So they are dry and tend to lack cloud cover. So these areas will lack cloud cover. And this is also the reason why a high pressure area receives more sunshine, right? You can take the example of hill stations. Next is humidity. Now, what is humidity? This is the moisture present in the atmosphere. So moisture, this also modifies the temperature. You can underline the definition. Humidity is the measurable amount of moisture in the air of the lower atmosphere. And where does this moisture come from? This moisture comes from water on the ground. Please underline. Now you know very well, when the water gets heated up, it turns into gas called water vapor. And remember, air is considered saturated when it is full of water vapor. Please underline this line. It's very important. So saturated air contains a lot of water vapor in it. So humidity indicates the likelihood of precipitation, dew or fog. Like temperature, humidity varies from area to area and time to time. Therefore, there are two terms, absolute humidity and relative humidity. Now what is absolute humidity? The actual amount of water vapor present in the atmosphere is known as absolute humidity and is closely related to air temperature. Now please note down, for the purpose of weather recordings, relative humidity is recorded. Now what is relative humidity? Underline, relative humidity is the proportion of water vapor present in the air in relation to maximum amount of air can hold. Amount the air can hold at the particular temperature. At particular temperature, how much moisture an air can hold, okay, as in proportion to the water vapor present in the air. That is what relative humidity is. It is important to note that warm air holds more humidity. Underline please. Warm air holds more humidity than the cold air. Relative humidity is expressed in percentage, and saturation occurs when the air carries the maximum amount of water vapor it can hold at that temperature. That is relative humidity at 100%. So please underline, it is expressed in percentage, and warm air holds more humidity than cold air. So you'll find that there's lot of moisture during these seasons, June, July, right? Now precipitation. Precipitation refers to all forms of water. As I said, it is rain, dew, hail, snow. Now when water vapor rises into atmosphere, it starts cooling. You know very well. Nearer the Earth's surface, you'll find that the air is hot. It's warm. So as it goes to a certain height, okay, it becomes cool. So this makes water vapor to condense. Condenses to cool down and cause the formation of water droplets. So therefore water droplets are formed, and these water droplets stick together. Okay, they stick together to each other to form clouds. Right? As the cloud become colder, the water droplets become heavy. So the cold water is heavy. Okay, it is heavy and it becomes impossible to float in air. Therefore, what does the water droplets do? They come down in the form of precipitation. Precipitation is in the form of rain, hail, sleet and snow. Rain you know very well. Okay, drops of water. Hail is the condensed form of the balls of ice. Sleet is sheets of ice, and snow you know very well. Now next is wind. Wind is simply the movement of air from high pressure to low pressure. Please underline. And speed of wind is determined by the difference between the high and low pressure. Greater the difference, faster the wind speed will be. That means if there's more difference, there's great difference between high pressure and low pressure, then the speed of the wind will also increase. So you can underline, moving air is called wind. And you must have seen that when the air, we cannot feel the air around us, but we can actually feel the wind, and that could be easily seen when the wind blows. The leaves sway from here and there, the branches sway from one side to another. So the effect of strong winds can be seen when trees get uprooted. What is uprooted? The roots of the trees come out by the strong winds. As the sun does not heat the earth's surface evenly, there exists different air pressure in different areas. So you'll find that in air pressure, the air moves from high to a low pressure area. Next is clouds. Children, you know very well the formation of droplets, water droplets, occurs due to condensation. Condensation means cooling of water droplets in the atmosphere. When the water particles take the support of dust particles, so water particles along with the dust particles, what do? They usually float with the help of dust particles, in the atmosphere. Now these water droplets, okay, what do? They become heavy because of being cold, and they fall down. They join together to form clouds, and they fall down in the form of rain that we learnt. So now there are different type of clouds formed in the atmosphere based on the height above the ground, the appearance, and according to certain. They are also classified according to certain special characteristics. They are cirrus clouds. Cirrus clouds are high-level clouds. They are thin and wispy. They appear during good weather. Right? Stratus clouds are low-level clouds that are flat and tend to cover much of the sky. They are grey in color and may produce light rain or drizzle. Drizzle is light rain, right? Now cumulus clouds are low to middle-level clouds. They are big, white, puffy and beautiful clouds. They usually mean good weather. What is the meaning of this? Whenever the cumulus clouds appear, they show good weather unless they grow really tall and turn into cumulonimbus clouds, right? Now nimbus clouds, they are low dark gray clouds that bring rain. Please underline this also. Lot where the instruments will be reading in the next video.